Yesterday morning, I decided to jump back on the infamous Twitter one more time. um, for those that don't know, I had an account under Beast System Revealed on Twitter that I started in March of 2020, maybe early April. I can't remember for sure, but I spent a lot of time on the platform and built up a really nice following of about 4,000 plus amazing people. And on December 9th, Twitter took it down without reason or warning. In fact, it's still in some weird suspended phase, but it's unaccessible and has been for 2 months, as has my other social medias that I've had to restart and things like that, just like everybody else, no difference. But the point of this is not that. I restarted my Twitter under Revelation Free Radio. It's at Revelation_free. So feel free to follow me if you'd like. I'm going to be stomping around on there as long as I can. And when I say stomping, I do mean stomping, like I used to do under Beast System Revealed, but I'm going to go to a different level and a new level this time. And the reason is because we have to. So as I got back on Twitter yesterday and started following a lot of the same people that I used to follow and finding a few other ones, I started noticing right away in the feed that it's the same old arguments. It's the same old, I have proof that vaccines are bad. It's people, we are so far past that. We know vaccines are bad. We know all those same old arguments that we were fighting for a year, and the agenda is pushed forward because we've always been reactive. We've always been reacting, right, to what they've presented and then trying to represent alternative facts, as Kellyanne Conway famously said, represent alternative facts to refute the facts that the CDC or whomever has put out there. And where did that ever get us? Honestly, I'm sure maybe we reach some people with that message, but that's not the message the world needs to break us out of this. The world needs a true message of hope and love and a future, not just of avoiding what the world is trying to throw at us, but of pursuing a future, of recreating a society in a way that we want it to be, not in the way that they want this new society to be. If you don't know, we're not going back to where we came from, ever, ever, ever. That's gone, okay? So we're in limbo right now. We're in between worlds. And the place that we go is determinate upon what we do or don't do. Okay? People think this plan or this agenda is just going to happen no matter what, and there's nothing we can do. Bull. There's a ton we can do, and there's a ton we've been doing, which has slowed down this plan and at times sent it almost to a grinding halt. But they're not going to give up. They can't just give up. They have to be defeated. They haven't come this far. You have to understand, they're literally destroying right now, or plan on destroying, 500 years of history. And starting from scratch, okay? That's the plan. And there's so few of them that are doing it, and so many of us that want something very different. It doesn't take much common sense to understand the power that we have to change it simply by the way we live every day and the simple decisions that we make every day. We talked the other day about beauty and creation, and it's so important. And I also noticed on Twitter a lot of people talking about having babies and thinking it's crazy. All of a sudden, people are thinking about having babies and saying it's crazy. There's no way I could have a baby. And I couldn't believe it because I literally just made a video on that yesterday before I got back on Twitter. And it's in people's psyche and their consciousness. It's starting to get there, which tells me it's very important that we be fruitful and multiply right now and fill this earth with love and people who fear the Almighty, right? We have to do that. And beauty and creating beauty. We talked about creating physical things in this world and getting out of the digital, right? And creating things we can hold with our hands and give to other people, and creating emotion in people and talking to people and just being nice and giving them a hug. And these are all things that do more damage to this agenda than you can possibly imagine. Every single time you say to somebody, I love you, it damages the agenda of AI. It really does. So our approach, I was hoping, and I know it's just Twitter, right? But Twitter is a real solid, actually, glimpse into how people are thinking, because it's raw. It's just what people are thinking in the moment, just throwing out words of what they're thinking about or what they plan on doing or whatever. And it really does capture the raw emotion of humanity. And that's why AI uses it to try to understand us. AI uses it a lot. And we need to understand that and harness that, right? Harness knowing that AI is watching everything we do on social media and on Twitter and places like that. And remember that at all times, and just refuting facts, refuting evidence and things like that on science. It just doesn't work. It's never worked from day one when COVID space was a thing. It's never worked. It's about hope. It's about giving people hope and something to live for, something to look forward to, a future, a real future. Not the past that we had that most of us all hated. That wasn't the world we wanted to live in. This certainly isn't the world we want to live in. So what is the world we want to live in? Well, I want to live in a world that's free, that's truly free, that I can make my own decisions as long as I don't do harm to other people, and vice versa. That's all I want. And to serve and worship my Creator. And that's what they're going to take away from us if we just sit back and say, well, why didn't anybody do anything about it? You're the one that needs to do something about it. You, in your life. It's not about preaching to other people anymore at all. If you have an opportunity, of course, tell somebody, no, the vaccine is the VAXX, whatever we want to, talk around AI, and tell them what you know about it. But it's not about that. Ultimately, it's about, what are we going to do after this? What do we want our new lives to look like? And when we start looking at it that way, it's really exciting, because we can shape it. We can make our new lives whatever we want them to be. Government is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's only relevant if you pay attention to it. As soon as you stop, it doesn't matter what they say. It's just a bunch of stupid people sitting around at a building telling you what they think you should do. Imagine if I came to you. Imagine me, a complete stranger, came to you and your family and said, you know what? I'm way smarter than you. And I don't trust you to be able to make your own decisions on how to live your life. So I am going to set up a bunch of rules to keep you safe, right? To keep you in line. And you have to follow my rules because I'm smarter than you. And if you don't follow them, I'm going to put you in a cage until you shape up. What would you do to me if I did that to you? Would you respect me? Would you respect my rules? Or would you say, get the hell out of my house? And that's all government is. That's all it's ever been. It's a bunch of idiots, some of the dumbest people in this world, some of the absolute dumbest people in this world, making rules for people that they don't understand. And furthermore, they're rules that aren't meant to help you. They're meant to hinder you. They're meant to make your life as difficult as possible as they sit back and laugh and take your money. So the power we have is to ignore them and make them irrelevant. They are dismissed. And if you're still on Twitter or on social media, follow these idiots. Follow these government people. And when they tweet, I've said this way back on my old YouTube channel when I actually had people that listened to me, right? And I said, constantly reply to them and say, you're dismissed. You're dismissed. No matter what they say, no matter what they post, reply with a little something, but at the end, always say you're dismissed. They can't stand that because then they have no authority over you. It's so frustrating to see the same arguments out there almost a year after all of this started, these same lame arguments that I tried to battle, in March, April, May, thinking I could talk sense into people with common sense and stuff about like, wait, this isn't real and masks don't really help and all this. Screw the masks. That'll be a year from now. We'll look back and say, remember the good old days when our biggest worry was whether or not we had to wear a mask? I don't wear a mask. It's not even a worry. Like the real worry is what's happening in the world and what they're trying to do. But it's not even a worry that I have because I know it's a bunch of idiots trying to pull it off and they're really stupid. And our God is way smarter than their God. And you know what? By default, so are we. And there's so many more of us. So let's get off like these old lame arguments about masks and vaccines. If someone's going to wear a mask, they're going to wear a mask. If someone's going to wear 1, 2, 3, 4 masks, they're going to do it. If they want a vaccine, they're going to do it. You can't help those people. The leaders of this world, the rulers of this world, genuinely believe, let him who is deceived be deceived. In other words, it's our job to figure out what's real and what's not. So if we've figured out what's real, follow it. If somebody else hasn't, we can't help them. What happens to them is going to happen to them, right? But we're the ones charged by the Almighty to create this new world that He wants us to have. We have to work for it. We have to create. We have to create. And beauty and creation is so important. We need to focus on this so much because it's what our God is. It's who He is. It is who He wants us to be. I said to somebody earlier today, they're talking about having a child. Well, it's a horrible time to have a child. And I literally said, go back to any time in history, right? Any time in history, and find one time in history where you can say, that would have been a really good time to make the decision to have a child. It's never existed. And that's because the enemy doesn't want us to do it. So he's always convincing us you shouldn't create. You shouldn't create. It's not the right time. The world is too screwed up. It's only screwed up because we haven't done what we should have done. This world isn't even close to being overpopulated. Not even close. It's all a lie. We need more humans, more people, more creation, more beauty to wipe out this disgusting agenda that's tried to wipe us out, and it's not going to work. So those are just some things to think about. Now that I kind of have a fresh perspective on what's going on like Twitter, on social media, because I haven't been on it for a while. Oh, just think about some of that stuff rather than worrying about the masks and the vaccines. Just don't do those yourself and try to keep your loved ones from doing them. But more than that, talk about future, right? And what we can build. God bless you.